So this video is all about how to write a birth plan and some tips that I've got for you for how to write one, what kind you should write, and why they're important. A lot of people are put off from writing a birth plan because they have this general view that birth is so unpredictable anyway that you're going to waste your time wishing for a birth and having it thrown out the window when anything terrible happens. So the first thing I tell my birth students is that the birth plan is not a pie in the sky, exactly what you wish for. I want scented candles and I want my playlist going and no one can touch that and all that stuff. It's not a list of all the wishes of what you would like your perfect ideal birth to be, okay? That is not what it is. A birth plan is a contingency plan. It says, if this, then that. So if everything is going normally and there's no problems with the baby or the mother, then I would like this. So that's when you can list, I would like to have music played and I would like to have the lights dim, etc. But you don't leave off the problem. So if we need a cesarean, then what? Okay, that's the thing that you should have on your birth plan. So if a cesarean becomes necessary, what are your wishes? So for example, mine would be that I would like to have the baby placed on me straight after the baby is born, so that hopefully the baby can breastfeed while I'm being sewn up. I also put down that I want Felipe with me at all times, and that's, of course, if possible. If I'm under general anesthetic for my cesarean section, then he will not be allowed in the room, and I won't be conscious anyway to know that he's not there, okay? There are things that you can think of that are going to make any kind of complication easier for you because you still have a choice in what you want if those things occur. Another example is, let's say the baby is starting to fail and you need to get the baby out as quick as possible and you're in second stage, you're already pushing. The options are whether you get an episiotomy and you use manual extraction, so forceps or vacuum, out or not, okay? In that case, I would say, if it's between the two types of manual extraction, I would like to get the vacuum extraction and not use the forceps. So that's what your birth plan is for. It doesn't go out the window when things start going wrong. And I think that's where a lot of people don't understand what the birth plan is because they're not thinking about these contingencies. They're not thinking about the different complications that may occur. I encourage you, if you are not taking a class, an antenatal class, to learn about the different complications that could happen during labor and how severe they are and what kind of interventions that are given and also what alternatives to interventions, the medical interventions there are. So another example, a huge example that I hear all the time is women who are going overdue, okay? And here in the NHS and also in America, they just want to get that baby out as soon as they can for some reason. They just cannot wait for the baby to come out on its own. And so a lot of women end up going and deciding to be induced. And then from that point on, what they don't realize is when you are induced, you end up needing to get more pain medication, you need a catheter, etc. So there are some kinds of induction methods that come with other things that you don't realize. So I want to encourage you to take a class, learn about these things, because you'll realize that induced labor is very different than normal labor that happens spontaneously and drug-free. A lot of women who are induced end up having a long and traumatic labor, and that's the last thing we want for our moms out there, okay? I wanted to also show you this visual birth plan that some people think is a little bit funny looking, but I find it really important, especially if you are going to have a birth in the hospital setting. I would recommend you to print out as many of these and as many of your written birth plan as possible. Probably like 10, because of all of the shifts in all the different people you may see. They might not have time to just read through your birth plan. So what I really like about this one that I've created out of icons is that I've categorized it by first stage labor, second stage labor, and then post-birth. So that when a new person beginning their shift comes in and checks on you, they can probably skip to the stage of labor that you're on already, so they don't have to waste time, I guess, to read through or look through the other ones. So for us, if let's say we had the baby, I would want delayed cord clamping, the partner cut cord, breastfeeding ASAP, and to save my placenta. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet this time. I'm probably not going to get it encapsulated this time because I got my other one encapsulated and I didn't use it. And then also I just want to remind them, I don't want any pacifiers. I don't want the baby to be bathed. I want to have delayed exams so I can bond with the baby. And obviously before feeding or injecting the baby with anything, I need to be consulted. And that's obvious here in the NHS, but sometimes it's not so obvious in an American hospital. The icons are great because it allows people to just really quickly just visually see and understand what you would like at whatever stage of birth you're in. And then obviously the written one is really important for you to go through with your doctor, your OB, or your midwife before 38 weeks, definitely before 38 weeks. Thanks so much for watching my video about how to write a birth plan, and I hope you guys hit that subscribe button if you're interested in Americans living in the UK, my pregnancy with my second, and also traditional family life. Thanks for watching. Bye!